Hi everyone, and welcome back to Paper Moon Journals. If you're new here, my name's Amy, and today I'm so excited to show you how to make a cute 3x3 micro mini scrapbook album just in time for Valentine's Day. I used the 6x6 papers by Echo Park on this cute little mint green background. You may have already seen where I shared this in a Valentine haul where I showed samples of projects that I'll be giving tutorials on all month of January and the first week of February. I have 5 different projects planned, including this cute little mini album. The one that we'll make on a red background, so it's perfect for a fun Valentine twist. It's neat to see how different the project can look, depending on whether it was on the green background or the red background. And of course, by making the album on a colored paper, it gives you a head start on the decorating. If I had made either of these projects on a manila background, I would have needed to add red or mint green to add that contrast color. I'll walk you through every step from cutting the pages to assembling the mini album and adding those special little details to make it uniquely yours. You don't need to be an expert crafter to make this. Just follow along and let's have fun together. I have out this frames and tags pack. I used most of the things in my first project and didn't use very much out of that for this project. And then I used half of the pages in the first project, all but one sheet, and a couple of the large journaling cards. So here are the pages that we'll be using today. And the next thing we'll do is we'll go through making the base mini album. I have this sped up to twice normal speed since it was an hour and a half of footage to try to get the video down, and most of what I do isn't very interesting maybe. So the first step is to take a 3-inch strip from a 12-inch thing of cardstock, if you don't already have a bunch of the 3-inch pieces, and you need 3 3-inch squares, a piece that's 1 3/4, and then what's left is 1 1/4 from the 3-inch square. And you want to arrange them on, I have 2 5-inch pieces of scrapbooking paper glued end to end. And you want to arrange them like this with about a 1/4 inch between each piece. And we want the last piece to cover the seam where our paper is joined together. And we'll keep the piece that we cut off the end of here. That's what we'll use to cover the inside. So don't worry, I made it this size for a good cause. And you can see that some of my spine pieces are cut slightly crooked because of how they fit under my cutter. It's hard to cut small things, and the chipboard scooted around a little when I was cutting it, but we won't notice it all because I can cover that by making the gap between them even. Will make it sit straight, even though the chipboard's slightly crookedy. And each one of these 3-inch pieces aren't quite exactly the same size either, but they're close enough. And then we just trim that piece off. We'll save that because we'll be using that in the next step. And then we wrap our scrapbooking paper around the chipboard that we've glued down. If this looks difficult, it's really not. It's super easy. Sorry, the lighting's not the best over here, and I do keep bumping the camera. It is much easier for me to have the camera lined up with what I'm doing where I'm at now. A lot of times I cut out the corners before I put down the double-sided tape, but I do prefer using double-sided tape. This time I was going to use the double-sided tape to help me trim the excess off. So this tape is about 1 inch wide, and then I'll just trim off anything that's hanging off of that and then cut out the corners. There's more than one way to cut out the corners, but I find I get better results when I do mine in the V shape. Okay, now that we have the corners cut out, we want to finish wrapping it up. We want to burnish that double-sided tape to make sure we have good adhesion, both before and after we put it in place, and work it into the cracks between pieces. These are so fun to make, and it's actually pretty quick. It just takes, if you have it pre-constructed, it just takes about an hour to decorate. So if you make it in one day, it takes about an hour to make, and then the next day you can decorate it. It takes about another hour. Again, it took me an hour and a half with stopping and starting, and I just cut each little piece as I went because I was focused on copying the original. So that scrap that we cut off the end, we just cut in half lengthwise and then glue that end to end, and that's a good piece to cover the inside here. You just need to trim off the excess. And I measure that by folding it back. And then that piece is perfect. To make it easy to work it into the grooves and everything, I like using double-sided tape. I have this 2-inch wide roll, and then I'll take that piece that's about an inch wide. And then be careful not to glue it to my desk, and then cut the excess off with my new non-stick scissors that I use for cutting double-sided tape, so my stickers don't get gummed up and sticky. My regular scissors. And you want to burnish the tape down so that it's stuck, you know, the side stuck to the paper good, and then peel the backing off, and we'll stick it into the book so that both sides are stuck down really well. I came up and filmed this while my husband was doing some work down at my office. He's building some bookcases for me. And I realized nobody was in the house. And I was like, oh, this is the perfect time to film a video without anyone walking in and having a conversation with me. Okay, so now the base of the outside has been constructed. I like to put a pair of magnets on it for the closure. You want to put it about a 1/2 inch down and then protect it with some double-sided tape until we're ready to decorate. And then let the other magnet attach itself. We put a dot on there, and that leaves a little mark where we want it to go, a little circle of glue. It marks the spot where we want it to go. And then we cover that up with double-sided tape and till we're ready to decorate. Lost part of this footage, so we'll get to see this a couple times. We have the hinge piece, which is 2 3/4 by 4.5 inches long, and we score it 3/8 inches, then another 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, 3/8, and so forth, as indicated above. I just count them out, 3 notches for the 3/8 inches and 4 notches for the 1/2 inch sections. Then we'll want to fold on our, pair those 1/2 inch pieces together into mountain folds. Then once we get all of those folded, we'll turn it upside down and we'll adhere those shut underneath. Now the mountains are valleys, and we'll glue those shut using our double-sided tape. And then we add double-sided tape to both sides of each one of these little hinges. I thought this was going to be so difficult before I had ever made one of these, and it's really not hard at all. It's super easy. I was surprised how easy it was. That I had avoided doing it for years, watching videos and not wanting to make anything with the hinge mechanism, and then realizing how easy it really is. Then to attach it into our scrapbook mini album, our micro mini album, I want to use double-sided tape. I'm going to trim the excess off with my non-stick scissors. And then glue that into the wide spine. Try to get that in there straight and burnish it down. You want it centered top to bottom. And then now that we have, so your magnet should be able to hold it shut. As long as you don't put bulky things on between the magnets on the inside of the front cover where the magnets meet, then you're good. But if you follow me, okay, so what I have here are the pages, and to make the pages, we cut 6 3 1/4 by 2 3/4, and we score those with the long side up, 1/2 inch on each side. Then we put double-sided tape on each one of those little flaps. Try not to stick them together. Maybe best not to have them in a stack like this, in case you go off the edge, so you don't stick them together like I was doing. And then once we have them all ready with double-sided tape, we just pair them together. I like doing it this way so that attaching them together hinges them on the outside so it doesn't interfere with things going in the pocket. I also grabbed a 12-inch by 1/2 inch strip that I glued shut and then cut in half. So I have 2 3-inch pieces that I folded 1 inch over. I just eyeballed it. Those are going to be the little retention straps for our waterfalls later, but I saw that strip sitting over by the cutter and just grabbed it. So if you didn't already have a strip that size, make yourself a strip that size. And here I am pairing together my pages so that you flip-flop them so that each page closes the side of the other page. It's very clever. I love how it works out. And now we're ready to put them onto the hinge binding element. You just remove the double-sided tape, if you can, and then slide the little sleeve of a page on there and burnish it down. Isn't that easy? I was surprised the first time I did it. I was sure I would have problems or make mistakes, that it wouldn't work out. But it did. It all worked out the first time. After that, I got overconfident and then started being distracted while I was making the hinge, and then I make mistakes. But I know I just have to focus when I'm making the hinge. So now all 3 pages are in, easy peasy, and we're ready to make the waterfall pages. I like to use my scoring tool for that. For the waterfall pages, we have 6 2 1/4 by 2 1/2 inch pieces. And with the short side up, we scored at 3/8 inch. I'm having trouble reaching it and not bumping my camera. Is what I'm doing. I just score each of those at 3/8 inch. Try not to cut into the paper or punch a hole through the paper when you're doing this. And this will make our 2 waterfall sections. I'll use these tiny little Velcro dots on the retention strap, although we won't need those until we're ready to decorate. I did want to bring it up that we'll be needing that supply. You can get yours handy. So we'll be putting 3 waterfalls on the center back and the inside, I guess, right section, we'll call it. And you just line them up one after another. I'm just burnishing in the fold line with my folding tool, my bone folder. And I line them up with each other. Assuming the first one is straight, I make sure the next one looks straight with the first one. That way, if I didn't have it lined up on the folding, on my scoring board perfectly, I don't have to count on them being lined up underneath each other, making it work. And then that's our retention strap. Just glue that down, leave that in place. And then these waterfalls, I like to face the other way. It was inspired by a scrapbook mini album by Graphic 45, I think an 8-inch album. Inspired my 6-inch because I wanted to be stingier with my paper, and I didn't like how much paper the 8-inch one used. So then I made a 6-inch. And then, as I already said, this one was inspired by the 6-inch. I have some other fun mini albums that I'd like to share. And if you're not sure the difference between a junk journal and a mini album, to me, the main thing is the pages and then how it's decorated. The mini album is definitely aimed more at photos and less at writing, although writing space and journaling cards can be a part of it, where a junk journal is way more about having lots of pages and lots of interactive things, although the scrapbooks have lots of interactive things as well. Okay, so we have our waterfalls in. All we need to do is add our pocket pages for our page pocket pieces. I have two 2.5 by 2.5 inch squares and one 5 by 2.5 inch piece that I'm folding in half. And I like to put that in the front pocket as a flip out. And now it's all ready to decorate. Now that you know how to make the base mini album, you could make it in any color. The sample I thought was easier to show in manila. We're ready to start decorating. So I started by using the pink in the background at 2 7/8. And then I made the little, the next one was 2 3/4, then 2 1/2, and then 2 1/4 finally for the, 2 inches square, I think, the little white one. Then we also need the square that was the typewriter, and we just cut that just past the typewriter so that we have a piece for the wide spine and the piece for the narrow spine. And then I used a little piece from the ephemera pack to decorate the narrow spine. I think that's the only piece from the ephemera that I used, and I did it like that. And then this piece with the cassette I used on the back cover in just almost the full 3 inch size. Let me get that glued down and meet you back here, or refill my glue and then meet you back here while I glue it down, I should have said. I raised up one of the layers on chipboard to add some dimension, and then I'll just finish gluing this down in high speed until we're ready for the next step. Inside the cover, from the sheet that has the variety of images, including a bicycle, we want a two pieces that are 2 7/8. One will go on the left side with the white side up, and the other one will go on the right hand side with the red side up. For everything we use, pretty much I cut 2 of it and then use both the front and the back. And the I love you cut apart, we will glue down in a U shape to make a little pocket. And then I do have a little tag from the ephemera pack and a little circle from the ephemera pack I'm adding to the pocket. I would have probably just punched a few circles out of some of the scraps of the paper if I didn't have the ephemera left. And this piece here is 2 1/2 inches square. And on top of that, we're adding the little 2 inch cut apart. Later, I'll be adding glitter around the edges of the little candy boxes, like I did on the sample. And then on this right-hand side of the trifold, we'll be adding that same printed patterned paper, but with the red side up. We have the magnets that need to meet here, so we won't want to put anything bulky in that pocket or on this page. No pockets or anything on this page, where the magnets won't touch. Then I'm just burnishing down around the edge of the magnet to make sure that I can see where it is and don't cover it up with more paper. So we'll be offsetting this image to the left side to make sure we don't cover that magnet again. And then also to the little heart and the flash part of the camera, I'll be adding glitter there as well. And this cut apart, I just trim a hair off either end and glue that down on the inside of the narrow spine. These are so cute. I think they make the cutest Valentines. One of the $8 pads of paper makes 2 of these little mini albums, and I had so much fun making these 2. I bought another pad of paper so I can make another one. The 6x6 pads by Echo Park really lend themselves well to this. I also made a little 3x3 with the Winnie the Pooh 6x6 papers by Echo Park, both the Christmas Pooh and the regular Pooh. All right, so I'm looking at the sample. I'm not sure it matters which floral that we use here. So I'm going to use this floral that I have out. First, I'll use it with the red side up. Then we have that pattern piece we used inside the cover again. Well, with the bicycles on it, or the tandem. I think it's a tandem bike. So cute. My husband and I have a tandem bike, though we haven't ridden it in quite a few years. We used to really enjoy going on different bicycle, I can't say trips, but it would be events where cyclists will gather to go on a short ride, and we would show up with our tandem and do the ride together on the tandem. That was fun. The next paper that we want will be the one with the black background and the little white hearts. I accidentally lost the footage for that. That was cut to... Oh no, here we are. We're good. But the pages are 2 3/4 inches wide, so I'm cutting these to 2 5/8. And I'll use both the front and the back of these papers. These papers are so cute. First, I'll glue this down in an L shape, this little 2-inch cut apart. And this flag, once the pocket's done drying, I think will fit in there okay. Or I can make it smaller. That's from the ephemera pack. Or you started learning to drive, is what I'm saying. And I glued down this little scrap in a U shape to make a pocket on the right hand. Oh no, wait, we need to cover that first. I will remember. Yeah, we take that off, and then we want a light pink. That's what I had for the background there. We'll need 2 5/8 piece. Okay, so I'm back with my piece. It's a different pink piece, but it will do just as well. Now I can glue the pocket down in a U shape. I have a heart-shaped punch, and I punched some hearts out I'll be using to decorate that pocket. I also use the hearts from the punch on scraps to make the little hearts that go on the retention strap. I like putting the red one in the middle. And then I made this tag out of a scrap. It's a little long. Let me cut that down. It was actually a scrap from a cut apart from a different project. And then that other cut apart, I just used a fancy corner punch on it to punch some ticket corners. And we're ready to turn the page. Oh no, let's do the little pocket page insert. That's cute, isn't it? We used a red background on the other one, but if we do that, we won't need any matting. So let's use the pink side. And then we'll get some of this red paper. I'll cut that to 2 3/8. The little pocket pages are 2.5 inches each, so 2 3/8 is a nice size to decorate that. And I'll need 2 of those. I'll put one on the front and the other one on the back, as well as that 2-inch cut apart. We'll be needing that. I hope you're crafting along with me and that you give this a try. If you do, please tag me in it. Again, I think these make really cute gifts. I'll be offering them for sale in my Etsy shop. I went ahead and glued those down off camera. Now we're ready to turn the page. Yeah, I want some floral paper for the left-hand side there, I think. You look through what I have. I don't have any more pieces to make a tuck spot there. And at one point, I think this would make a good tuck spot or something to tuck into the pocket. I don't think I end up using it from the ephemera pack. But it would make a fine tuck spot or something in the pocket. And there's a piece cut to 2 5/8. That's going to make such a huge tuck spot. I just decide I don't want to use that. And maybe I'll find something else. From the ephemera pack, I'll cut this down, and either half would make a fine tuck spot. I'll use this top half. It's a frame around something, so I'm going to add glue to both pieces so it doesn't just pop out. And that's a little big to fit in there. Maybe it will after the glue has dried. If I put it in there now, it'll get glued inside the pocket. I just make sure that I've cleared the glue from the area I want that card to stick under. Although I do think I end up putting something else under there. I did this, filmed this a few days ago and I don't quite recall. So let me cut another 2 5/8 inch piece to decorate this one. We'll take it from this smaller floral print here. Gone off camera and cut that. Maybe I want that red side up. I think I like that with the red side up instead of the floral. So let's do that. And then it's one of the cut aparts we use for a belly band by just gluing it on the 2 sides. The little tandem bicycle cut apart. That is so cute. And that's one of the 2-inch cut aparts I just cut with my ticket punch punched with my ticket punch on the corners. And then the pocket page insert is ready for decorating. We'll be cutting 2 pieces that are 2 3/8 inches to fit the 2.5 inch piece here. Oh, it's the fun with the candy hearts. I love on the back of the page is the candy hearts. This one is the envelopes, and the reverse side of the envelopes is black with white polka dots. And the little 2-inch cut aparts that has the mint green background and the florals, we'll be using that on this last pocket page insert. All right, so I'm back with my 2 5/8 inch piece that I just cut, and we're ready to glue that down. I also have some hearts that I punched using my heart-shaped punch that I'll be gluing 2 each together to add on the little retention straps. You don't have to do that, but I think it looks nice. And by doubling them up, that made them sturdier since the parts of them will be poking up. This cut apart here can be cut to fit underneath the bottom card. I believe this is 1 3/4 inches tall, and then I just trimmed the sides of the card just a little to make sure it wouldn't interfere with the hinge. Now we'll just finish the waterfalls on our own. I don't think it's necessary to copy exactly what we did before. Before I used scraps, and this time I will use scraps. So I'll put this one in the middle. Thinking I probably don't want the dark one on top since the hearts are dark. It'll just kind of blend in. I'll put that in the second place. And then on top we'll do candy hearts. You could do this however you want. With the candy hearts right next to it, maybe I should have done the smaller hearts on top. Or the arrows, I mean. And then done the candy hearts on the bottom. I think these waterfalls are too small for pictures, really. But they are a great way to show off the different papers in the collection. I'm adding the tiny Velcro dots to our retention strap. Once that top waterfall is decorated, we're ready to attach them. And then I'm just going to add a dot of glue so that the adhesive on the Velcro dot isn't the only thing there. We also have some top quality glue. We'll keep that Velcro dot from just ripping up the first time we use it. Let's do the same thing. I'm just pairing it together, both sides of the Velcro. Then let me decorate the top page of this waterfall, and we can glue down the other half of the Velcro dot. Oh, let's add another dot of glue there. So the adhesive holds it for now, and then our glue dot will make it permanent once the glue dries. Then I pre-cut pieces for the waterfall. I'll pop those up on the screen during editing. I don't have the instructions with me here. I want to say it was like 1 3/8 by 1 5/8, something like that. What I actually did was I just measured a scrap, you know, that was the size I wanted. And once I had a scrap the size I wanted, I used that as a template and just laid it on the rest of the scraps until I ended up with the size that I wanted. And this is just a scrap off my desk. Looks like it's 2 inches tall and 3 inches wide. Fit perfectly right there. And it's all done except for adding the glitter and some flat backs, the bow, some finishing touches. But the hardest part is done. I love the finishing touches. If you haven't seen how to make a bow, a tiny bow using a fork, I'll be doing that to make the bow here. First, I'll add the flat backs so that they can start drying while we're making the bow. I get these from Amazon. There should be links in the affiliate. If there's not, please let me know in the comments, and I'll make sure to update my Amazon list. Thank you to everybody who's clicked on the links and bought. I hadn't been paying attention, but I went and looked, and last year I made $20 from the Amazon affiliates. That's pretty nice, actually. That buys quite a few of the supplies, $20. Doesn't quite buy one of the giant bottles of art glitter glue that I like, but it does buy several small supplies. Or did. It just gets added to my bank account, but that was really nice. And I hope you found those links helpful. That's the main reason I did it. Again, I didn't think it would add up to much, but I appreciate anything is the nice thing. When you don't have a lot of money, $20 is pretty nice. $20 worth of shopping credit, let's say. All right. That looks so nice. Which one is your favorite? The one on the red background? The red scrapbook album? Or the one on the mint green scrapbook album? I think it would look nice on black as well. I'd like, when I get the other pad comes in the mail, I may make one on white and manila. And if I didn't already say it, I'll be offering these for sale in my Etsy shop. In general, things that are under $100 don't have free shipping. So to keep the price down on this, it doesn't have free shipping. It'll just be the actual discounted shipping. Wholesale shipping cost. I'm thinking, $5 or $6 probably. It's small and very lightweight. Inside the box, it weighs less than a pound, so it shouldn't be bad. What I want to do here is to add larger flat backs to the outside corners and then smaller to the inside corners. And if your fingers aren't already sticky with glue, if you just get them slightly tacky with glue, then you can pick those up easily. I still haven't found where the kitty took off with my little tool, my little pencil-shaped wax tool that came with the flat backs. I have multiple of them because one came with each one of the colors that I got. And I got black, silver, gold, and pearl all together. I didn't get them all at once, I don't think. Probably got the gold and the silver at once and then later went back for the black and the pearl, if I had to guess. I really like the way the flat backs add a polished finish as well as adding glitter. I'll just do a little bit of glitter on the cover here with you, and then I'll add the rest of the glitter to the inside after it's had a chance for the cover to dry. Now is time to learn how to use the fork to make a perfect little tiny bow. So you just wrap it around like a shawl, and you take the part that overlapped and poke it underneath your little shawl through the middle of the tines so that it comes out the back. I fumbled that on purpose so I could show you again. So it comes out the back, and then from the back we take it up through the middle, down the front, and tie it in a knot with the tail that was already hanging there. Tied it in a nice snug knot. And then with my bows, you can do it the way you like. I like to make the tails about the length of the bow. So I cut the tails off once I get the bow tied. It's easier if you can hold the fork between your knees and not have it loose on the table. That's the way I normally do it. And then just pull the knot snug and then trim it off. Some glue and a binder clip to clip that down until the glue dries. A little satin bow would be nice as well. The glue has had time to dry and our little project is all done. I hope you like how it came out. Let's take a quick look at it. Again, later, after sharing it with you, I'll go back and add glitter to the candy boxes, to the camera, the flash on the camera. Anywhere I felt like it needed some sparkle. Isn't this cute? I think this would make a great Valentine's gift. Instead of giving a card someone would want to throw out, this is both like a card and a gift, all in one. And it's so cute. It doesn't take up any room. Makes a nice little desk or table decoration. You could even put photos in it and use it like a mini album if you wanted. You have one of those little cameras that print out instant pictures on stickers. I think those those print out tiny little pictures that might be just right for this. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you spending time with me. I have a bunch of other Valentine projects planned for this month every Saturday. I hope you'll check it out. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, please like, subscribe, and share the channel with anyone you think might enjoy the content. I'm showing you some tags that I made using the leftover scraps, something I love to do at the end of a project. Thanks again, and have a great day.